Hi everyone, in today's video I am going to be talking about yet another trans topic. Big shocker! Yeah, I'm going to be talking about why trans representation isn't where it needs to be. And I was going to plan on doing this at some point, but then I had like some point in the near future, but then I had like a calling to do it, especially with like recent events, the passing of Brianna Ghey. I believe that's her name, Brianna Ghey or Gray. I think it's Gay. So yeah, so rest in peace, that sweet 16-year-old. So what I want to talk about in this video is just how the media portrays trans women. I'm going to use basically Brianna's media coverage as an example. So we all know that Brianna never was referred to in a lot of articles, especially when it just got announced of the tragedy that happened to Brianna. If you don't know, long story short, she was brutally murdered from, I believe it was people from her school that targeted her and bullied her previously to that, but she was targeted when she was walking home and back from school. So yeah, it was gruesome, and the news outlets just painted it as like a girl was randomly attacked, not a trans girl. But when trans people are seen as violent, then they put the words trans in the title. However, they just wanted it to like not be seen as like a trans girl being attacked, or even any trans person being attacked. They don't want to paint the picture that a trans person is innocent. They just want us to appear problematic or violent or both. So yeah, and with the coverage of trans people just in general, there isn't that much. There is just bad eggs, bad omens, bad representation all around, i.e. Nikita Dragon, who I've just covered. Caitlyn Jenner, I know, is a bit problematic. And just the people that we kind of have. There are so many good treasures out there, and so many people that even aren't in the public eye and have no desire to be in the public eye and just live their life as a good individual. So there is good people out there, good trans people out there. It's just not talked about because of the reasons I've just said. So yeah, so I want to just say that this needs to change, especially following this recent event. It's just really brought to my attention that it's really not where it needs to be, and we are not seen as equals in a lot of respects. Even within the gay community, the queer community, we're not seen as like equals. And I know each member of the queer community has their problems, etc. However, it is a known fact that trans people are isolated the most. However, in the past couple of years, we've been celebrated. It's been more normalized, especially with like the influencers such as Miss Dragon and Miss Jenner. So many other, like, the way I can categorize them is like Hollywood Love Island-y people. Yeah, it's just not the one. It's not cute. And then not having trans representation in what I love to do, such as like acting and movies, TV shows, theatre. I don't really see or hear of many trans roles, or trans women just playing cisgender women in like TV, movies, whatever. However, that is a controversy in of itself, where I feel like cisgender women would be like, well, why isn't a real woman playing this part? Like, I know some stupid idiot will say that. So yeah, if you have that kind of mindset, then you don't really need to be here. Yeah. So it's just really eye-opening that stuff like this still happens, like a lot of setbacks. And I was talking to this about this with my friend, where we had a candlelight vigil on Friday for Brianna, And I was like, I can't relate. This is a bit of like a side story, a little tangent, not really to do with like the topic at hand, but basically I was like, I can't really relate, because yes, I've been bullied mercilessly for being different, but it was never for being trans. It was for being overtly different, overtly like either people perceived me as a girl trying to be a boy but trying to be a girl, or they were like, you're a gay boy that looks like a girl, or they would just pick on me for wearing makeup, pick on me for being girly, pick on me for hanging around girls. There was a lot of things and torment I endured because I was different, and I slayed because I was cunty as hell. So yeah, I've experienced merciless bullying, I've experienced being followed, I've experienced all of that. But that being said, I'm not saying that anyone is dramatizing their experiences, but I am of the opinion, especially with like Gen Z and stuff like that, that some people might slightly, especially if they're still children, they might slightly exaggerate what they've been through, because in the candlelight vigil there were a lot of young queer people, should I say, giving their story and saying that I'm being followed every single day. Every day is a struggle to leave the house and stuff like that. Yes, when you're visibly different, it can garner attention, but where I live and where I presume these people live as well, it can't be all that bad. Yes, what happened to Brianna was bad, and my heart goes out to her. But from my experience, because I used to have a mustache, still very, very pretty, like androgynous, meshing the two genders, wearing whatever, going in drag to prom. Like I've experienced it all. Flipping spinning, sorry, that's gross. I've experienced it all, and yeah, every day wasn't a struggle for me. I've literally walked out the house very prince-like, and I just wasn't harassed. And I grew up in ends. If you know what ends mean, that means basically like a rough area. And I endured that because I was resilient, I was confident, I carried myself with confidence, without being queer, without anything. If you're just being bullied for being different, a lot of bullies get bored if you're giving into it, if they can see that they're impacting you and damaging you and hurting you. If you're resilient, if you're confident, if you don't care, not saying that you attack them back or clap back, if you just don't care and you don't show it that it's getting to you, fake it till you make it sometimes, if you can, then they won't find it fun. It will die, literally, it will die down. So I don't know what the case is for Brianna, but yeah. So that was a little side tangent to say that I've not experienced that. I've been a very, very passing girl. I shaved my stash off when I was like 16 or 17, because I was trying to like clean it up and stuff. And then I shaved it off because I made it look ugly. And then I was like, who is this woman? I still didn't identify as a girl until I turned just before I turned 19, I think. So 2019. So that was a very, very big year for me. So I've been living my life as a different person, as a genderless being up until 2019. And I really have explored everything. So it's not all that bad out there, but there has certainly been bad things happening to Brianna, to another trans person, to another queer person. But just to wrap that little side story off, it's not all that bad. And I feel like a lot of people are just not being dramatic, because I don't want to be horrible, but there can be some sort of like, from this sad thing, it's just propelled and it's just heightened their emotions to slightly just exaggerate, maybe. I don't know, maybe they're not exaggerating, but I can only speculate from my own experiences, and nobody is going to live the same experiences, yada, yada, yada. However, I'm just here just to not fearmonger basically, and make people feel like they can't leave their homes and they can't do this, that and the other. So yeah, this is basically just turning into something else, but let me get back to the topic at hand. Basically, the main reason why I'm sharing this as well for trans representation is because I follow this trans woman on Instagram called Lucia Blake, and she popped off when this all went down, and I want to give credit where credit's due. She tweeted out, and I'll try and put it here. She tweeted out, why is it that when a 16-year-old transgender girl is stabbed to death in a park, the UK media covers up the fact she is trans, but when a man pretending to be a trans woman commits a crime, the media has no problem using the word trans in the headlines? 16-year-old Brianna Ghey, who is transgender, was stabbed to death in a park in Warrington, Merseyside. It's circulating online that she was bullied for years prior to the stabbing. The UK media have covered up Brianna's trans identity because it does not feed their narrative. They want people to think that we are dangerous. But was Brianna a danger to society? Or was she, in fact, an innocent victim of a dangerous society? What's even worse is that the internet is now infested with sick, evil, fascist men and TERFs making memes and celebrating her death. Even after Brianna's death, hate crimes are still being committed against her. When will this cruelty end? So, yeah. Enough said, basically. Trans representation is not where it needs to be, where it should be. It has a lot of potential, and there's a lot of ways where it could be greater. So from me saying this, I just want you to really open your eyes to any media that's put out there. Take everything with a pinch of salt, and yes, there is some reputable, reliable resources out there that have credits and they link stuff and really have an unbiased opinion on and are fact-based. But take everything with a pinch of salt. Even what I'm saying, take everything with a pinch of salt. See if it resonates with you, see if it's applicable to you. Always challenge your own beliefs, but always stick to the fact, because the fact of the matter is that this negative, bad, horrible thing happened, and it was underrepresented, and it was tried. She was basically doubled down. She wasn't celebrated as a trans woman in life. She wasn't celebrated as a trans woman in death. So that just speaks volumes about where we are as a society. We need to do better. I hope you enjoyed my little rambling, and yeah. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Please subscribe, it helps me out. Like, comment, share, and yeah, just let me know what you'd like to see next, and follow me on Instagram. So, thank you.